Fine, look at us. We don't know what we're
Is
doing.
it, does it show that something's playing over there? Yeah, oh, that's spiking like crazy.
Oh, yeah, we're good.
That's awesome. That's fine and dandy. Let's take a little look at the
Oh, yeah, we're fine.
camera and mic.
Everybody's excited here.
Everybody's
Yeah,
excited.
I got
But yeah, look at that because
No, we're good. Look at that.
oh, USB. Oh,
We're hot.
We're hot. We're so hot right now. We are so hot right now.
And that's how you start a show.
It is. You start the show by pretending like you know what you're doing, and you've been doing it for a while. We are out. We did not use the usual playing
music?
No.
No.
Because I
Yeah,
forgot.
well, it's 2020.
It's 2021, and we just used Robot Coupe.
Yeah, no, I think Robot Coupe is the way to go for, especially with what we have on par for today. I mean, let's be honest, folks, you're listening to 21.6 The Net, the #1 internet radio station
in this on this street anyway.
Yeah, here in the building.
Right here in the building. You're the #1 in the building.
And we want to thank our millions of listeners out there who are listening as you're preparing to go to work or traveling or doing whatever you do. Man, look at this. Good to see you too, our good friend
Hey, Don.
See us as well. Some friendly faces. Good to see you guys. Obviously, he's watching TV. Anyway, you got What's in Your Loaf. I'm D. Keith Ski.
That's who we are. That's
This
who we be.
show
Little
is
Phil Nocerino in the house. A little Phil in the house.
this show is all about where, you know, we just got to make fun of some stuff and
Yeah.
laugh and what's stuck in your loaf, right? And so today we got some great topics. Today we've got time periods for interior design.
Yep.
We've got vaccine papers. And of course, if we can get to it, the funniest knock-knock joke in history.
Ever told. The
Yep.
funniest one ever
The
told.
funniest one.
So, good morning, Phil. How
yeah.
are you?
So Ski, you are the guy who loves time periods for interior design. Now, you can tell those people who are tuning in on our YouTube channel and Facebook. And of course, if you are out on Facebook, we ask that you go over to our YouTube channel, subscribe, ring the bell.
Ring
We're
that
looking for
bell, subscribe, like
2,000.
and share. Yeah.
We want to get 2,000 subscribers.
2,000 for 2021.
1%. It's
Yeah.
1% of our listeners.
It's 1%. That is.
That's low.
We're actually 2 million plus. We're into the year now. We are actually well in. We're over 2 million, which is really very cool. But that's just 1%. 1% on YouTube for the year would be awesome. We'd be happy. We're a little over 100 right now. I think we've got 109. At the moment. So
This just in. Hey Tim, good morning. This just in. Nancy Pelosi canceled her press conference after she remembered somebody took her podium. I'm just kidding.
No podium for Nancy.
No.
Good morning there, Tim. How you doing?
So interior design. You can tell by the way that we have our studio design that it's like, I mean, you would think somebody from a DIY show or HGTV or something came in and really spruced this baby up.
You would think that,
I
but instead it was actually you.
Yeah.
And your lovely wife.
Yeah.
So it was Deke and Mrs. Deke.
And the color of our walls, cardboard, because we as kids made cardboard for us. So
all the time. Anytime we got a good box, we were.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I loved a good box. Yeah. Every once in a while, my dad would bring home like those great big Gaylord boxes that had the
thick side. Oh my God, those were indestructible.
He actually showed me how you could actually cut a door, and you would cut 1, 2, 3 sides through, and the fourth side you would just score.
So a hinge.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. I'm with you.
And those would last. I mean, those big old boxes like that would usually last us a good summer.
Yeah.
A good spring summer.
Yeah.
And the other Chico boxes would last maybe a day.
And that's why we went with cardboard on the wall.
Yeah.
Of course, we've got our Keanu Reeves.
That's for Lisa Eflin.
Yeah, Lisa
Eflin. Hashtag call Keanu, call Lisa. And she'd love to hear from you. Now here's some news.
Yeah.
If you're interested and excited in news that doesn't matter at all, is my middle son Luke has decided he does not want a lot of his old Star Wars and other kind of posters that are sitting in our garage. And so my wife was going to throw them out. Some of these are framed. I'm like, oh no. Well, we got
wall room.
We got wall room. We could change this thing out. We could put something
I love the Star Wars.
over there. So
I love the Star Wars.
I think I'll have a couple of things I can bring in that will you know, it'll look fun. It'll look cool.
Yeah. Oh, I think it'll be great.
So now in decorating, I don't think there's a time period for interior decorating for Star Wars unless you would call that the late 70s or the
Galactic time period.
Yeah, galactic. Is it? Would it be the galactic? See, and that's not even the same as Star Wars. So, did you like Battlestar Galactica when you were a kid? No, that was Buck Rogers.
Oh, that was Buck Rogers. Right?
Yeah.
I'm getting all confused on which galaxy I'm in.
And I can't remember.
I watched it. I
I
watched Battlestar Galactica with the Cylons.
Yeah, Cylons, and I didn't like the good guy spaceships. I don't remember what they even called the good guys. They were just the Lauren Green.
Yeah, they look like ham sandwiches.
I had a hard time with Lauren Green being the captain of a spaceship because I watched Bonanza.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, he's supposed to be in a cowboy hat.
Yeah, he's cowboy.
Yelling at Haas for being a big goofy dope.
He's a cowboy for sure.
Yeah. But anyway, I
We digress. We were talking about time
periods. Here's what is amusing to me is when people start talking about how their homes or living rooms or particular rooms are decorated.
Yeah.
And they start talking about, well, we have our living room decorated in the Baroque style. Like
I don't even know.
Baroque from
we are too. Ours is Baroque. Nothing matches.
Yeah. Not the QUE.
Right.
The OKE.
That's right.
Baroque. That's well, you know what? We decided to put our bedroom into the Elizabethan era.
Yeah.
And now, but over here, David's study is actually in Edwardian. And is David's studies in Edwardian? And so they've got Elizabethan and Edwardian. Yeah. Whatever your tastes are, that's fine and dandy. But am I the only one that sounds a wee bit, I don't know, douchey too? Should I say that?
Yeah, no, I think you can. This really, yeah.
Yeah,
I think you're fine with that.
it's a little. I mean,
yeah.
I find that so pretentious and a little douchey. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
When I was a kid, my mom, she loved antiques.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a lot of antique. I don't know what time period that is. Just antiques. So we had a lot of antiques in our house.
Okay.
Buffets and hutches and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we were, Elizabethan or, you know what I mean? It was like, hey, I like that wood antique dresser.
Yeah.
Let's get that.
So,
yeah.
Well, I know that there are craftsmen, there's the craftsman period and the craftsman style, but there were trades craftsmen from each of these periods, and evidently they're defined by the style of accent or woodworking that was done.
Right.
I don't know. I find that really off-putting.
If you go with one, which one do you like?
I like the medieval Gothic.
Oh, really? You're going Gothic.
I like that.
You like the big, heavy
iron, massive doors. A giant throne carved out of a big oak tree, whatever. Marble, like a little. Yeah, I like that. There's absolutely nothing in my house that reflects.
Well, no, you'd have to have a castle.
Yeah,
to do it right.
Yeah. So, I mean, I like that. I really do.
If you could,
If I could, castle it up all day long, every day.
every day.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I would.
I'm what is it, mid-century? That's the 60s look. I
Okay.
like the retro 60s
The
look.
60s kind of,
Yeah.
the groovy
Yeah.
reds and the avocado greens and the oranges
Yeah, and the squarish,
the
you know,
square with the geographic.
with tight patterns.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, not the big rolling arms, the nice thin arms.
Yeah.
Yeah, the back of the couch. You know,
Like real
if you
sleek.
start falling asleep, you're like,
Yeah, because there's nothing for your head there.
Right, there's nothing back
Yeah.
there. Right.
So,
Yeah, I mean that's yeah.
you know what I really like from the 60s?
Uh-huh.
Those, it was like an indoor fire pit. It was that fireplace that was like a triangle spaceship with the opening.
Yes.
But then the flue went right up.
Went right up.
I had a few friends with
Those
those.
are cool.
I thought they were the coolest freaking
Yeah,
thing.
They were orange.
Yeah.
Some orange. Yeah, those are cool. I would still
I
take
had one friend that had one that was yellow, one had one that was orange, and one had one that was that avocado green.
I would
from the
take one.
60s.
I would take one today. You know, you've got a riveting show, folks, and to our 2 million listeners out there, when the people on social media start having a conversation, it has nothing to do
with your show. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, man. Good to see you. How are things? How's the wife? Yeah, good. All right. God love these guys. I'm glad you could tune in and connect on what's in your loaf. No, and you also had those chairs that kind of were the same shape and would spin like this. You know, they were like the bottom part of that fireplace. So they were kind of
almost that.
Yeah,
that
barrel
circle
type of thing. Yeah, like a half barrel.
Oh, the half. Well, okay, I'm thinking
Not the barrel itself. I'm just saying. Yeah, you're thinking right. And they were black or leather.
Okay, they had like the big. Are you talking about the leather or the ones that were like?
No,
the
not
rattan.
the eggs. Yeah, not the rattan.
The rattan thing with the big cushion in them.
No, not the rattan.
Those came back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
In fact, our boys had.
And now the big egg chairs are coming back because of gaming. The ones that come over.
Oh,
you.
really?
Yeah, and the speakers. You know.
Huh. I have not. Were you guys talking? Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, that were,
your social media conversation there during our show, but hey, Don, we think of you.
That's right.
Yeah. And actually, Don, you were actually on my mind this morning. I was surprised that you shot a note asking if we were going to be on. That was cool. So I just thought, I haven't heard from in a while. It's Don.
I think the worst is the Queen Victoria style. Nothing was made to last there. You couldn't plop down in it.
Oh, well, that was not for plopping.
No,
none of that was for plopping.
Yeah, you weren't gonna. I mean,
that's the tiny, little
legs.
delicate and the very frou-frou-y, very feminine.
Yeah, you're not
style.
comfortable at all at any point in the
No,
day.
you weren't meant to be.
Yeah.
Any and all furnishings were meant for appearance only. Very little was meant for actual use.
Yeah.
And it didn't. I shouldn't say it didn't last because I know that some of my. I think it must have gone to one of my uncles or on my mother's side because I know that my grandparents from Europe that came over here, I know they collected a few of those things over the years that were actual antiques from that long ago. We were never allowed to sit on those.
Yeah, we've got a piece.
That's not for sitting, so it lasted, but
we inherited a settee.
Oh, okay.
From my wife's grandmother, and this thing is gorgeous. But I mean, it sits in our living room when nobody. It doesn't match anything there. Again, we are the Baroque style. Now hey, look at that. Yeah, Julie, the Papasan chair. Right.
There you go.
There
yeah, Papasan.
Happy New Year, Julie.
Julie, how you been? Man, haven't seen her smiling face in a while.
Don says, really have missed tuning in. I guess he had broken thumbs or something. He couldn't quite work his phone properly.
Maybe he had to go through physical therapy and get back into. Yeah. Sit on the edge and take your orders in a Queen Victoria. Yes,
you're right.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's just to me, it's beautiful, and it's got a carved face in the middle. I mean, this is a beautiful piece.
It's beautiful furniture to look at.
However, it holds a stuffed giraffe and blankets.
And that's probably its weight limit.
Right.
And
if you sit in that settee, your butt goes right down to the frames. You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
I mean, it's all redone, reupholstered. I mean, we put some money into it because it was grandma's, but it has nothing to do with our house, and it has absolutely no comfort value at all.
None of those things ever do.
Zero. Yeah.
The only thing I know that we used was a footstool.
Oh yeah,
Simply resting, and it was
had the wooden legs.
It was not a put your foot up here. It was a put your feet maybe.
Yeah.
It came up maybe 5 inches off the ground.
7 inches off.
Yeah. It was not a.
It's what they call a pooping stool now. You put it in front of your toilet, so your knees come up. It's more comfortable. Your body doesn't stress as much when you poop. It's true. Look it up.
Who's doing this?
Oh yeah, no, they're out there. Poop stools.
Poop stools?
Yeah.
My knees are already almost in my chest when I use a commode. What are these people? Are they sitting on really tall toilets? What the hell?
No, because as you think about it, when you were in the cave people, they squatted. They had to squat down. So your knees should be up. It's better for your everything. Yeah.
Because the cave people had no toilets. We should do it that way.
Well, it's better for your body. It doesn't put so much stress on your body. Look up poop stool.
How many people were there in caveman times?
Squatty potty, that's it. Yeah, squatty potty. Yeah.
A squatty potty.
Yeah. Now Julie says that her dad collects 1920, 1940 wooden office chairs.
Oh, I'm glad he doesn't collect squatty potties.
Right. But the squatty potty works great. It's truthfully, yeah.
That seems
it's a
ridiculous
thing.
to me.
It's a thing. The commercials are great too.
Really?
Julie says.
I'll have to look that up. I have
Squatty potty.
A squatty potty.
You can get it at Bed Bath & Beyond.
No, I'm sure you can.
Yeah.
I won't.
No, you should. You should try it. Yeah, I think you.
Dude, I sit on those and my knees are already up here.
Yeah, well, yeah, but this will be better for you. Trust me. Oh, yeah.
How is it going to be? Trust me. How is it going to be better if my knees are already in my chest?
I must spit out my coffee.
How is it going to be possibly better?
I don't know. Well, we can put.
We've evolved.
We can. Well,
there are so
our
many.
mind has, but it doesn't mean that the way they did it.
I say we have evolved in that we were able to engineer a toilet so that we don't have to go in the woods and squat.
Well, the most natural thing is just pooping yourself. You just poop.
Babies do that.
Right. That's the most natural thing. But we evolved, so now.
Oh, how fortunate for us! Because next, after the potty squat, they're just going to go say, "Hey, you know what? Oops, I shit my pants."
That's right.
Oops, no, I'm sorry. Oops, I crap my pants.
Right.
On
say
it was a Saturday Night
iced tea
Live.
is a gallon of your pee.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
we're just going to go right to that. So
yeah, look at that.
I'm sorry, we digress.
You can also get a veggetti at Bed Bath & Beyond. That's another story.
A veggetti.
I don't even know. Unless that's the modern day. That might be the modern day bidet. Jetty. That the veggetti. You can
So
jetty the
it's
veggetti.
coming
perhaps.
up the front instead of the
Perhaps,
back. I'm guessing maybe.
Yeah, we
in
can put that on the loafism board, and we
We'll-
can talk about.
Well, you know what? We should, before we forget, I'm going to go right.
Squatty potty and veggetti.
Squatty potty and veggetti.
Absolutely.
I don't want to forget these.
She says no.
Um,
I don't know what it is. We'll have to look up the veggetti. That'll be good. Squatty potty and veggetti.
and veggetti. Okay. Now we won't forget. They're on their.
Oh, the veggetti.
They're
Oh,
officially on the board.
Okay, I looked it up. But I was way off. We got out of the bathroom and went into the kitchen with the veggetti.
A what?
Yeah.
The kitchen.
Kitchen tool. Yeah. there
It's
you
a
go.
kitchen tool?
Yeah, the veggetti. It doesn't sound like it, but it is, and I like that. So, absolutely. And maybe that'll just be one show. Random things you can find at Bed Bath & Beyond.
I like Bed Bath & Beyond. I love their coupons.
You can anything sold on TV.
Yeah.
You can get there.
Their coupons are the size of a poster.
So as we're trucking along here, and we're about at the halfway mark. We do want to let people know that if you have a small business and you want to get in front of 2 million listeners and
Let us know.
hundreds of thousands of views each month, let us know, because What's in Your Loaf doesn't have a sponsor at this point.
No,
We're looking for a sponsor now. Just from the sheer expertise and the quality of topics, I don't know why we don't have people jumping at this.
I'm telling you. Now we've had consideration in the past.
Sure.
You know, and I was happy for that. But I know What's in Your Loaf may not be for everyone, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't matter. I can tell you how many people it's for at the very moment.
As you're playing with those numbers, then let's move on. Are you okay with interior design? You want to stay with that?
You know, I was just frustrated with the pretentiousness of it. I really was.
So what in 50 years, what is today's style?
Ooh,
right?
What is today's?
If everybody likes interior design from other eras, what is this era?
Well, see now,
face masks and rubber gloves.
Good Lord, could you imagine if that comes back as a style?
Yeah.
Oh, you need the latest
latex gloves and masks.
Yeah.
Just like back in 2020.
Yeah. Oh, like 1920. I don't see anybody wandering around in flapper dresses and suits.
Well, there's some out there. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you'll see that. Yeah. You got to go to the city. You'll see.
That's one of the reasons I probably.
So how many?
I'll tell you when it decides to update.
Okay.
It takes a little time.
Thank you, Julie. We're happy to see you as well. Happy Friday. Let's jump right into something a little meatier. Let's go vaccine papers.
Ooh.
So on the 25th of this month, you can't get into America without having tested, negative for the coronavirus. So if you're coming from outside of, or maybe it's the 29th, but it's coming up here, the travel, you can't come from a different country. Now, interesting thing is, we got a good friend, Tim and I have a good friend, and he has his first family over in Australia, and he went back to Australia and went straight from the airport to the hotel and was quarantined in his room for 14 days. That's what Australia does. You coming from another country, you will be quarantined for 14 days. So they have one or two hotels in downtown Sydney that are set aside by the government. They say, okay, you'll be here for 14 days. Now you can have DoorDash and Grubhub and all that stuff, drop off your food, but you're there for 14 days.
And where was this?
Australia.
So he flew to Australia and they just said sit here for 2 weeks.
Oh, he knew it going in. That was the travel. What's happening now is you have to prove that you have tested negative, right, for the coronavirus, and to get into the United States from an outside country at the end of this month. Yep. You didn't hear that. Yep. President Trump made it so.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well.
Now that's not papers, but it's close, right? I imagine.
Well, I mean, that's very close.
I've got to be able to show the papers,
I mean, we're getting to the point here, though. If you've been listening to the radio, there are banks over in the right now happening over in the UK.
Yeah.
That are saying, okay, if you are not getting the vaccine, not only will they not let you in the door, if you don't show your vaccination paperwork, they're going to terminate your account.
Oh yeah, well, give me my money.
You're moving into anti-banking. You're moving into basically they're moving into social scoring.
Yeah,
and this is like China already has this like big time.
Yeah,
you actually don't even get to take advantage of certain services.
Yeah,
public service, you can't go to certain places. You can't get if you don't have a certain social.
Yeah, you don't have your papers. You don't have your
papers
vaccine.
and vaccine, but even how you conduct yourself,
Oh, sure.
how you behave.
I won't be doing it.
There, yeah, me neither.
So yeah, effective January 26th, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, that's the CDC, will require all passengers entering the United States, including U.S. citizens and legal permanent residents, to present a negative COVID-19 test taken within 3 calendar days of departure or proof of recovery from the virus within the last 90 days. Airlines must confirm the negative test results or proof of recent recovery for all passengers prior to boarding. Airlines must deny boarding of passengers who do not provide documentation, negative test, or recovery.
This is ridiculous.
Well, why? You want to die? COVID. You get it? Dead. Instant death. It's a black plague.
And apparently, so is the flu. And
This
so
is nothing like the flu.
Okay, sure.
Don't you read? Don't you watch the TV, the telly?
Yeah, I also know how to do statistics.
Yeah.
Yeah. I took actuarial accounting once upon a time.
This has nothing to do with actuarial.
Sure it does. It's all about numbers.
Yeah.
And it's all about looking at real numbers and real facts and actually what's going on.
Listen,
This is, I mean, okay.
Facebook, in our opinion.
In
our opinion.
my opinion, I am by no stretch of the imagination remotely anything associated with a scientist or a medical.
In my opinion, right. In our
Pure
opinion on
opinion.
this show, yes.
Pure
On this
opinion.
crazy, funny show that we do.
Hey, happy Friday, Julie.
That's it.
But it's, I think this is ridiculous
What?
because it's absolutely foolish. This is about control and nothing else. It's not about health and wellness.
Well,
It's
you
not
carry
about
around your
health and
polio
safety.
vaccine papers.
Yeah, no, I don't.
You know?
No, I don't. Remember when everybody got those?
I had to go in. Ours was in the library. You went into the library. You went to school.
Yeah, went to school. Ours
And
was
then
in
you
a line.
lined up, and they had that big gun.
Yeah, ours was in the hallway outside the lunchroom at the school I went to.
People crying and passing.
Yeah, my picture got put in the paper. I was wearing a King Kong T-shirt.
Nice.
Little caption with me making a face. Little caption said, "Ouch, I'm not King Kong."
You still have the shirt?
No,
You got the scar, don't you?
but I don't have the shirt. I don't actually have that clipping. I think my mom might have that somewhere. That was from long, long
Got a
ago.
real big shine on the clock there. Interesting.
Hmm.
Anyway, yeah. So I mean, yeah, but you're not thinking of everybody else.
Oh, sure I am.
Why? You need those papers. I need to see.
You know
those,
how much I
need to
thought
see those
of
papers.
everybody else? I was so concerned that there may have perhaps be COVIDs in my system, in my lungs, that I inhaled a big bunch of Lysol. Actually, that did happen. It was not really on purpose. But yeah,
So
don't do that. Not recommended whatsoever at all. And that can be very, very scary. So now, there's my mom. Says, I have that.
Oh,
you
yeah.
looked horrified.
yeah, we need that Wendy here. We need
I-
to put that. I need to be able to do this and put that right up there. Like
Huh.
that.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
probably does have that somewhere.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
it was a giant freaking needle and a gun, and it was scary.
Yeah.
I hate needles to this day.
Still, huh?
I can't stand it.
Needles don't bother
No, needles and dolls.
me. Birds, but not needles.
Yeah, see, birds don't bother me at all.
Yeah.
But needles and dolls, I just don't do well with.
Clowns?
When I was younger,
Yeah, you didn't have a clown around here?
no. I've never had a clown thing
Good.
in here. I don't. Yeah, I'm not fond of them. They don't bother me.
I don't
like they did.
understand them.
I don't think there's anything to understand. They're just freaking weird.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's from a bygone era where people had to adorn themselves in a fashion so as to act silly acceptably.
Yeah.
You couldn't just be a goof. You couldn't just be a comedian. You had to be a clown. And clowns are supposed to be funny and supposed to bring joy. But they're creepy as hell. They just are.
Yeah, there were.
Yeah,
They were.
they really are.
So vaccine paper. So the stories that I've done a little research on and read is that to get into certain places or do certain things, you're going to need your vaccine papers, like where there's a lot of people. So maybe a sporting event, maybe a concert, something where there's a lot of folks. But not only that, but you'll need to show the vaccine for which dose you are on.
Dosage size?
Well, so like right now, the vaccine is a 2-dose vaccine. So as far as I know, so far. So you get one shot, you have to wait so long, and you go back and get another shot to have the COVID.
And they're rolling these things out like crazy. Why is no one
Yeah.
talking about the after effects?
Hey, Tony,
The side effects
how was
to
Tony?
these shots that
Tony,
have
Happy New Year.
Shown to
Sister.
be remarkably negative and severely significant.
What do you mean?
The side effects of these shots.
I've heard from.
I mean, I've seen a number of videos, a number of reports, and they seem to try and push them away and make them not available about as quick as they come out.
Yeah, so I haven't read any reports or done any research. I'm just talking with friends who have had it, and yeah, there are some side effects. I don't know how long they last or linger. Now, me again, I would say, understand what you're putting in your body. So if I'm going to get a mesh thing from my hernia, I want to know what it's made out of and how my body's going to react to that.
I agree.
Right.
Yeah.
So I want to know. I want to know what's there. Tony's been I heard, but not sure of infertility in men caused by the shot.
I think it's a little early to know that. That really won't be a concern of mine at this point.
It's like, hey, sorry, this never happened. I just got my vaccine.
So, well, I think infertility is different than inability.
Yeah.
Infertility different than inability. But
Sure.
I mean, I went to the vet after our daughter was born, so it's really that's a non-issue for me.
There's a lot. I've got a friend who is very kick boxes and things like that, and keeps good. She's always in good shape, and she got it because of her job, and she's a physical therapist, and so she got it because she's in that field.
Yeah.
And she reported, the first shot, no big deal. Second shot gave her bloody nose, and I'm like, what? So I mean, there were some weird effects there.
There have been bloody noses recorded, passing out, unconsciousness, and I don't know if death. People actually contracting the virus, more severely than other recorded cases.
I mean, when you get a flu shot, they inject it. You kind of get those symptoms.
You get those too, but and then severe aches, pains, fevers, the bloody nose thing, severely impaired vision. I don't know the duration on these at this point in time.
I mean, there's always. I mean, with any.
I'm not enthused about getting something shoved in my body that we don't really know.
Well, no, but you don't have to at this point. At this point,
right?
You don't have to, and I mean, there are some employers, depending on what you do, who are mandating. If you're going to work for me, you need to have that.
From an HR standpoint, I would say be extremely careful about that at this point.
Well, I mean,
it needs to be a bona fide requirement that's completely germane to the type of Exactly. The type of work that your business does.
Yeah, so my daughter works at Ashley, she works at hospital in the hospital setting. So hospitals are like, hey, you need to have the flu shot. You're going to work here.
Yeah.
Now they'll probably say, hey, you need to have the COVID shot. But, in the same breath, then I go back and say, well, if I'm wearing a mask and gloves, and that's to prevent people from getting it, then why do I need the shot? But anyway.
Well, that's a very, very good point.
But, and it's, hey, if you get that vaccine,
I would walk around in a hazmat suit before I got that vaccine.
If you get that vaccine and that's what you want to do, then you go do it.
Yeah.
That's what I say. You go do it.
Knock yourself out.
My caveat or asterisk is always understand what's in it, because you're putting that in your body. You're putting it in your bloodstream.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So really, my son, who's in the Navy, when you go to work for the military, you go through and they shoot you with a lot of things. They inject you with a lot of things. And he got one shot, and hey, Don says first mask and gloves, now vaccine. What's the next thing? Don, are we talking about your honeymoon again? Is that
he loves reminiscing.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah. Just to be able to go to places. Let me finish.
Reno says not me, but go ahead.
Yeah, let me finish.
Can I finish? Can I finish?
So they're like, okay, and he's like, well, what's this shot? We call this one the peanut butter shot. That's all they called it. And he's like, Dad, so they inject you in your butt, right in the cheek. And he goes, and it feels like they're filling you with peanut butter.
Ew.
And I'm like, what was it for? And he's like, I don't know.
Well, I've seen a lot of military guys talking about this, and even my brother, who was in the military as well, because when he went overseas, he was in Germany.
Yeah.
And he actually was the guy then at one point giving all those shots, and also he was a battalion pharmacist and the medical assistant, all that kind of other stuff. He was basically the doctor, military. But he said you had no idea. They just, you stood in a line, you walked out, and they're just pumping stuff into you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. My honeymoon is an entire show by itself. That is it. I had pictures.
Yeah.
We'll want pictures to post up there,
or not,
or not. But the world is changing, right? And I mean, there's a lot of conservative people out there who are going to say, no, man, you can't. Yeah, this is America, home of the free,
land of the brave,
right? And I should be able to go anywhere in America, do anything in America, as long as I'm not breaking the law, as long as I'm not bringing harm to my fellow man, right? Or woman, right? But the whole thing is, times change. At one point, you didn't need a driver's license.
No.
Now you need a driver's license to get around.
Yeah.
Right? At one point, people thought we went to the moon. I'm just saying.
What else?
Right. I'm just saying. And so if it becomes law, then what? What happens to you? They say, hey, listen, in order for you to go to the Jewel,
go to the Jewel. You got to have a vaccine.
You gotta show your vaccine paper. Better yet, we'll just chip you so as you walk through the door, it scans and reads and knows exactly what vaccines we have.
Oh, you remember that wonderful Stephen King miniseries came out that called The Stand?
No.
It is based in large part on stuff like this, and if you want to go religious for a moment, it's also backs into the ideologies of the mark of the beast and that kind of stuff. If I don't know. I don't know if I'll become a de facto criminal or what. I'll have to wait and see
Get out of America.
how
Head to
important.
Canada. What's happening?
I don't know. I really don't.
Mexico,
I have to
Colombia.
wait and see if that becomes a thing.
Yeah. I
And
see it.
how
I
important.
see it doesn't sit well with you.
No, not at all. Not even a little bit. It doesn't sit well.
Yeah.
It depends on, ultimately, I suppose, like it may for many, many people, how it would impact my ability to maintain and earn an income and a living, to be able to function the way I want to function within society. I suppose that's what it ultimately will come down to.
Yeah, just get the
Dollars and cents.
Just get the chip put in now.
Just if it makes me a hotspot,
In my opinion, if we haven't already, if you know what I mean. Anyway,
that could be entertaining. If it makes you a hotspot or gives you connectivity, suppose you get a chip that enables you to just connect, and you don't need a screen, you don't need anything.
virtual right there.
Virtual right
Bam.
there. Boom. That could be fun.
It could be.
But suppose you get hacked. Suppose you get brain hacked.
Well, let's go back to the vaccine papers if we could. Now, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a doctor, nor do I play one on TV or the radio or Facebook. Just my opinion. In my opinion,
That's all any of
if they make this a thing where you have to carry around vaccine papers, isn't that breaking every HIPAA law ever? And now
Here's the thing.
And now you're going to have to
No.
change all the HIPAA
HIPAA
laws.
does not apply the way people think it applies. HIPAA applies to very specific industries and very specific service industries, roles, and job functions and duties of employers. HIPAA is not the big thing people seem to think it is. It isn't. HIPAA primarily applies to government bodies, healthcare providers,
Right. Okay.
and child care service providers. That's pretty much it. There are very minimal limitations about what a private or regular or other type of employer is able to share or discuss openly with regard to information they have of someone's health condition, but there is very, very actual little HIPAA application there. So just walking around and saying, hey, I need your papers, and not necessarily a HIPAA violation. Could be in certain circumstances, but by and large, not necessarily.
I'm just saying.
Now, because people get very confused about HIPAA. Moreover, it actually could be more a violation of some of the other protected classes and the ADA. That also it could become a thing, because if you have to pay for it, then it could become an FCRA violation. Because if someone can't afford it.
So at the beginning of the show, if you missed it, we asked for your loafisms. If you missed it, we did ask for your loafisms. As we're getting towards the tail end of this show,
we asked for it really.
And we got one from George Chase. So we want to thank George.
George Chase. So what do we have? L?
Is like. Yeah.
O?
Old ass friends. So this week, your loafism is like old ass friends.
Like old ass friends.
That's it.
Like old ass friends from George Chase. George, you're an awesome fella.
About everybody else who gave us a loafism today, we appreciate who you are.
By the way, we do have a couple of, we have the numbers for 7:37 a.m. I checked them a couple of times just because it freaks me out. Listeners, not viewers, but listeners. At 7:37 a.m., we had 1,580,335.
Just enjoying this well-produced show.
Phenomenal. Why? Why are you listening to this
I
garbage?
love it.
Thank you.
Thank you
We
so much.
appreciate
Very
it.
humble. Yeah.
1,580,335.
That is fantastic. That God love you. And
You are all absolutely
Thanks.
wonderful. We appreciate and are grateful for every single one of you.
Thanks. And this is what we say in 2021 to all of our listeners and fans and everybody who supports us. Thanks for getting caught in the net.
Yeah.
Here, 21-6 the net.
Yeah. 21.
Good
That was good. You did good job. Did you just come up with
I
that?
did it in the shower this morning.
Oh, you in the shower?
I'm trying to think of some marketing stuff.
We need to write that down.
Yes.
I like
Thanks for
that.
getting caught. Are you caught in the net? Join us at 21-6 the net
Yeah.
on YouTube.
I like that. Very good. We got to get that recorded. We got to run that.
Let's put
spot.
that down. Let's do
put that
something.
down. Are you caught in that?
To everybody out there, thank you so much for your time this morning. Be safe, be healthy, push against the tide when it's right, go with the flow when it's also right. Just sit down and relax and enjoy the inauguration of the 7th president. I don't know what it is. 46th president of the United States, 46th, 45th white guy in the White House, and it's going to be fun. So what we would say here over the next 4 years, keep your arms and hands inside the ride at all times.
Yeah.
Please remain seated until the ride comes to a complete and full stop.
But enjoy yourselves.
That's
Have
right.
fun.
And no flash photography.
Yeah. And no flash. No flash photography, no flashing.
For all of us here at 21-6 the net, thanks for joining us. Come back at the top of the hour at 9 a.m. for Bridging Civil Tension as we talk a little bit about impeachment number 2 and our good friend Rittenhouse, who, well, is showing his redneckedness.
Yeah.
So come on back
Hey,
with Bill Wallace and I as we're going to talk about some of that.
good times, fun times.
Thanks for joining
John
us.
disputes the numbers. That's all right. I did the count twice
That's right.
and had it verified by myself.
That's right.
Yeah.
And he did take some actuarial account.
I did. So two full classes
Yeah, so you know.
of that
You'd be surprised, Don. Our
About-
reach is growing.
about 40 years ago.
Yeah.
30 years ago. No.
We use the
Yeah,
same machines
something like
they do for voting.